All right, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Yeah, literally, pretty much, Sean. Yeah, almost got exposed there. Look at that. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone. Let me turn this down a little bit. Let me turn this down. There we go. All right, welcome back, everyone. Good morning, guys. Happy Wednesday, guys. We have a big day today. Big day today. I've fired up a combine for potentially for today because it is FOMC day. It is FOMC day. Yeah, much better now. Thanks, Dave, man. All good. Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. Sammy looks buzzing. Yeah, Sammy. Yeah, if you guys did watch the Valencia vlog, yeah, Sammy's living the dream in here in Spain, living the life. But yeah, it is FOMC day today, guys. Let me just have a quick make sure the audio is good. Audio and video good, awesome. Thank you, man. Welcome back, everyone. If any of you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. Been trading gold for the past 7 years, mainly focusing on the European session here. So with you guys the next hour and a half, we'll see if we get some trades. We'll break down gold. We'll break down some other markets here as well. And yeah, have a good dive into everything. Gold having a nice pullback from these all-time highs, which is great to see. Better than peaking all-time highs. You had a pretty strong liquidity grab yesterday. Pullback in Asia and a continuation down. Excuse me. So yeah, welcome back, everyone. Happy Wednesday, guys. Now is Coach Hoop, welcome back as well. Appreciate you tuning in. It is big FOMC day today, guys. 7 p.m. London time. From 7 until 7:30, we have big news today. We also did just have some pound CPI as well. So we can look at the pound futures, see how that came out. But the main news today is going to be CPI day today, guys. So I have fired up a combine that we may potentially trade here pre FOMC, but we shall see. We shall see. Let's go to some of these levels. See what we just did here for the pound. So pound came up and grabbed a lot of our highs, which you spoke about nicely. CPI for the pound is 3.8%, pretty much as expected. Having a little bit of a liquidity wick and a sell-off here. But I don't really trust this move down too much. I don't really see too much downside here for the pound. I think you might see a pound still have a potential pullback, but we'll see. We'll break down all other markets, especially. Thank you, man. Thank you. But yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good week so far. Nice to see gold having a little bit of a breather as well. Like I say, it's better than us, tapping into all-time highs. We're finally starting to pull back. We've hit our liquidity levels pretty perfectly this week. Trade so far has been here on the Monday. Unfortunately, I couldn't trade, which is Monday. Beautiful trade. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning, man. Finally give some good ranges. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's it. Even if gold does range here, we're still getting some good ranges. Yep, nice. Coach Hoop still have a rollover hangover as well. With markets, at least we're in December finally. Yeah, absolutely. Which is crazy. What's this? Halfway through September, October, November, December. Crazy. Years, absolutely flying by. Absolutely flying by. It's crazy. I think we're almost in 3 months. We're almost in 2026. So, first stream of the Traders Club. Awesome, man. Welcome, Chase. Good morning to you too, man. Welcome. Good to have you here. I'm not trading the XFA today. I might trade the XFA. We'll see. It depends on what we get. It's not going to be an easy day. It's FOMC day. So, does it make sense to trade an XFA pre FOMC? Maybe at reduced risk. We'll see. If we get a good quality setup, I will consider it. I do have a fresh combine ready to go just in case. So yeah, we'll see what we get. We'll see what we get here today. So let's clean up some of these levels here, guys. Let's do some fresh analysis. We got London open in about 20 minutes as well. So you guys who were here, well, you guys weren't here Monday, but you guys on Zoom, just gonna get rid of these are the levels from Monday, the highs. These have all been liquidated perfectly. So let's do some new levels here. Let's see how this daily is breaking out here on gold. So let's get rid of this. So obviously, you know, we have seen gold, you know, we had a huge run up. We were kind of stuck in a range, which was quite nice. We broke above 3650. We've also broken back above 3700. So it looks like we could be coming back down for a pullback of this previous breakout level and 3700. Two pretty decent levels yesterday. Two pretty decent levels to pull back into. What's this? 50%. 50%. Why does that one look darker? Oh, there you go. This one has two. Let me go to. Is there another one here? Yep. So potential pullbacks into that 3700 level. Already having a pretty decent sell-off here from Asia as well. Looks like Asia, what do? Came up, tagged some 4-hour highs, re-breaking back lower. So you are coming back into some previous breakout levels right now as well. So we will see how we react around here. Are we going to get potential to squeeze this lower? One thing I was looking at right before we jumped on, not that there was an opportunity to do so, but on the lower time frame I was watching this, and you were kind of hovering around this support a lot. And that's when, you know, you start to hover around this support. You get lots of people trying to jump in these early longs, and that's when gold loves to come down and grab the lows. There wasn't really an entry to kind of scalp it down, but I was watching this right before we jumped on thinking, here, I can imagine there's a lot of people trying to jump in the longs here, potentially getting trapped out. Now, what was nice here is, if we just bring this up a little bit, what do we always say, guys? What does gold love to do before a previous move up or down? What do we love to do? Look at this. Put this on here. What do we love to do before a move up or down? To come up, tag the highs, push down. Come up, tag the highs, push down. So lovely intraday liquidity grabs. This was pretty late in the session yesterday. Actually, not really too much actually. I was watching this for longs here. Then I kind of stepped away from the charts. As you grab the highs, you end up having that lovely sell-off yesterday on gold. Really nice sell-off. Pull back and then continued selling off here in Asia. So with where we are at here on gold, you know, we can pretty much say we are right at the lows of this big range. Now it's also, you know, it's not the cleanest, but to me, kind of does look like a pretty big head and shoulders. Looks like we're coming down to break this neckline here as well. So could we be seeing this pull back into 3700? I mean, to me, it looks like it could be a nice pullback trade. You know, gold has been very bullish, so I haven't really been shorting gold much. However, now that the daily time frame and lower time frame has shown me that we're starting to pull back, cool. Now I can justify shorts more, as opposed to the people who are trying to short at all-time highs. You know, we've created some structure, we've created some ranges, now we can potentially justify pullbacks more. I'm pretty neutral though today, guys. I don't really have too much of a bias here going into gold. You know, if we do break this level, pullbacks into 3700 can be nice. If we start to wick back above, could we come up and retrace some of these Asia levels? Maybe. We'll see. A few caught sells into the trend line at 2 a.m. Nice. This trend line here. Some of you guys on Zoom caught sells. Very nice. Yeah, sells are looking nice here. Even here pre-London, you know, you wicked out these highs, you close bearish, you're kind of having a bit of a sell-off here. Nice sells at 7 a.m. London time. What's this? Pulling back 70 ticks here already. Micro Bitcoin may be ready to move higher again. Nice, Coach. We'll take a look at Bitcoin. I think we spoke about some Bitcoin longs yesterday as well. So yeah, we'll absolutely have a look at Bitcoin. Goldie having a nice little sell-off here, guys. Not going to chase it from here. So let's see how gold's going to react around these lows. Let me just get my currency chart up here as well. Yeah, looking good on the currency. Currency still is a pretty decent way to come down. Let's get rid of this. So this is the double top that we spoke about on Bitcoin yesterday for longs up into. Some of you guys were asking about Bitcoin yesterday. You know, we said if we break above here, then this range from here to here is going to be a nice range, which you've actually fulfilled pretty perfectly. So lovely longs here on Bitcoin. We were saying these Bitcoin longs yesterday because we were basically anticipating a lot of people would probably be shorted here. Stops above. And Bitcoin does love to do similar things to gold, where you have these double tops, you come up and grab them. So if any guys did take that trade, there's a very, very nice push. We spoke about that perfectly in the London session yesterday. So double top got hit there beautifully on Bitcoin. And this is also what we were saying yesterday. Again, you can kind of see here. So where could we be coming up back up into? Back up into this 120,000 level. To me, this still looks like a pretty good area. You know, we had this huge bounce from 110, filled 115. Where's the next up? 120. Very, very, very big range here. You could just see came down, tagged lows, held support, closed nice and bullish yesterday. So from here, I would be looking for Bitcoin back up into 120k, or at least these previous breakout levels around 118. Looks like a pretty decent resistance level. So yeah, Bitcoin is I've never day traded Bitcoin, but it does look like, what have I done? It does look like we're getting a pretty decent range here. Closed 40 tick sells at 130, then it ripped 140 more. Let's have a look, man. So you closed for... I mean, 46 in Asia, man, is amazing. Where did you get short from? Up around here, 130. You got short at 130. Here? Oh, nice. If you shorted this one, man, or even shorted this one, that was very nice. Very, 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 very nice. Closed at the 4-hour low. I mean, that sounds like a pretty smart exit, to be honest, man. 115. You got short at 115. So 115 here as it broke out. Closed at the 4-hour lows, which is what, somewhere around here, maybe? There, yeah. I mean, man, you know, gold's been so bullish. You know, sometimes it's easy to look at this and go, oh yeah, you know, I would have done this. But it's like, well, this has been pretty bullish. Gold's been overall very bullish anyway. So just shorting for a bit of a pullback, you know, man, 40 ticks in Asia is still a win. And even if you didn't trust the sells, but you could see reasons to maybe pull back in some 4-hour lows before potentially going higher, that's still a good trade, man. You know, that's trading sometimes. You know, you might take 40 ticks, it might end up pushing down 140. But if you got in where you said you would and you got out when you said you would, that's a win. You followed your plan before getting into the trade. You know, you did well. So 40 ticks in Asia is still a very, very nice trade, man. And that's a really good sell-off as well. So good trade. Sometimes, you know, sometimes that's why it's always good just to hold runners. But again, you know, it's not about, you know, it's not about always trying to sell here and let me just. Not always about trying to sell here and exit here. You know, if you sold here and you got out here, that was your plan. You know, this could have easily had these lows and pulled back high, and then, you know, you wouldn't be saying, damn, I should have got 146. So if you followed your plan, you planned your trade and you traded your plan, you've done your job there, man. So good job. 40 ticks in Asia is still a great trade. Obviously, you know, sometimes it's easy to look back at these moves and go, oh yeah, you know, I would have shorted this, would have held down to these lows. Well, in real time, it's not always the case. But one thing you can do is always just remember to zoom out. Go look at that 30-minute time frame, and you know, you probably got intraday support here, so you've broken that. Then you can be okay, cool. Next level to manage is probably here. Well, then you've closed that, so then you can be okay, cool. Well, as long as you don't close above here, you can hold your trade. You know, it's kind of something that if you find majority of your trades, you end up closing. Again, this is one thing I would always do with my journals. If you find majority of the times, you know, you end up closing your trades at, let's say 20 ticks, but on average, most of your trades run into 50, 60, 70, then you can look back at all your trades and go, okay, cool. I'm clearly closing my trades too early. But if it's just a one-off trade, then it's a one-off trade. But that's why one thing I would always do with my journal is I would write down what did my trade end up running into. So I could look back and I'd see a lot of my trades. Okay, cool. Most of my trades, my day trades, I keep closing at 20 ticks. On average, they keep running into 50. Therefore, I need to get better at holding my trades. And one thing that allowed me to kind of hold my trades better was just focusing on these 30-minute closures. And as long as we're closing and breaking my levels, I want to keep holding the trade. You know, you don't just want to hold for no reason, but like maybe you could have been like, okay, cool. I wanted to hold down into this support because I think we're going to come liquidate these lows. But if I closed up here, then, you know, that's bad management. But as a one-off, you know, we're not here to judge ourselves on what happened one time. We're here to do, you know, what is going to help us over 100, 200, 300 trades. So gold's still squeezing down here, guys. Breaking this support if we pull back, you know, it's potential to continue to get short here. you still have a pretty decent range from here down into that 3,700 level. Uh, 30-minute doji at 7 a.m. good for a sell. This one here, sorry, 30-minute doji. This one at 7 a.m. Yeah, I think it must mean this one. Is this good for a sell? You know, it's tough. Like I say, it's easy to say in hindsight, yeah, I would have shorted this. But to be honest, I don't actually know if I would have. Because here, you know, you tagged, the only way I would have shorted this candle is if you hadn't grabbed the lows of the support. But you had, you know, came down, tagged the lows, broke up high, and tagged the highs. So you've tagged the lows, you've tagged the highs. So would I have shorted this? Realistically, if I'm being completely neutral here, probably not. I would have probably waited for maybe more of a little breakout here, because I feel like I'd be selling right into support. Not only would I be selling right into support, but I'd be selling into a level of support where the liquidity gap has already happened. You know, I'll short into support if this liquidity wick hasn't happened, but it already had happened. So would I have shorted this? I don't actually think so. Like I say, sometimes it's easy to be, oh yeah, you know, that was an easy short, tag the highs, push lower. But realistically, you've tagged the lows, you've tagged the highs, a little bit of a range. So personally, I probably wouldn't have shorted this. You know, when I first looked at this, oh yeah, I probably would have shorted that, but I always try and see it from that neutral perspective. Would I have shorted this? Well, you've grabbed lows, you've grabbed highs, you've grabbed the highs of the range, you've grabbed lows of the range, or in, you know, this 30-minute here, you know, held support, waked up. So I would have had to seen a little bit of a breakout. Current gold contract is GCZ25. GCZ25. The best trades always have the clear targets. Yep, absolutely, Michael. That's the absolute key, man. That's the absolute key. And if you don't have targets, you don't have a trade. That's why this one, I realistically, you know, maybe you could have scalped a little bit on the lower time frame because I was watching, you know, more people trying to buy this support. Maybe you could have scalped it from here, but realistically, it's not the trade setups that we want. Yeah, I mean, if this wicks back above, I like these longs. You came down, you grabbed the lows. You know, gold's still overall very bullish. I wouldn't mind a little. You know, if we're very likely gonna range here today in the London session before CPI, and in most sessions today, I mean, this is still a pretty decent range. This is a 70-tick range. I'll still trade this range. If I get half of this range, that's still good. And ideally, I'm more comfortable buying the lows of gold, given the fact that gold has been so bullish, as we know. So this is good. This is nice. Closure above 677 on the spot. Yep, I like that, man. We got London open in 6 minutes as well. If this does wick up more, this hourly candle might actually end up closing a little bit doji, which could shape up for a potential morning star play. Yeah, absolutely, Damon. Natural gas and crude. Yep, we're gonna have a look at natural gas and crude. Take a look at the pound. Absolutely. Euro longs today at current levels. No one said NQ yet. Look at that. I thought we were going to jump straight into NQ. Well, the pound, you've just had CPI come out. So let the pound breathe a little bit. Wait for this hourly closure. Now, euro, again, we spoke about this on the euro since literally like down here last week. Maybe even down here. You guys remember what we spoke about on the euro? You guys can go back and watch it. This is where we were saying a lot of people would be trying to short the euro, sit in stops above, and I said this was more of a swing position. Euro, you know, very similar to gold. If you're going to have a push down, you're going to create that false resistance. You're going to bring in a lot of sellers, and what's it always going to do? It's always going to come up and stop out them people. So you're buying up into where most people are trying to sell. So euro ended up having a very, very, very nice breakout, tagging some beautiful highs. And if you were tuning into these live streams, you would have absolutely been on the right side of that. Whereas most people would have been on the wrong side of it. So even if you didn't get the longs up, well, hopefully just from watching these streams, you guys also saved yourself a loss from not trying to sell here and risking off these highs like most people. So from here on the euro, you've had an amazing breakout yesterday. Again, you do have FOMC today, which is going to be very big for the euro as well. Euro against the US dollar, it's going to be very, very Very, very volatile, but I would say this is very likely going to continue pushing up. And just above these highs as well, we do also have 1.2. Oh, look at that, put on perfectly. We do also have 1.2, which is nice round psychological level as well. Let's get this up. So where do we bounce from? Bounce from about 175. Let's go 1.175. So we bounced off the 1.175. Very likely next target for me would be that 1.2, or at least these highs here from the 1st of July, around 1.195. To me, looks like a pretty decent target on the euro. Again, same thing. You probably get a lot of people shorting here, risking off this high. The euro is very likely going to come up and grab that. Again, though, you know, if the euro is going to have such a move, when's it very likely going to happen? Well, do we have high impact news today? Yes, we have FOMC at 7 o'clock London time. Therefore, it could take until FOMC to come up and create these highs. So you may get a bit of a range here in London, and then you could grab the highs here. Intraday, though, let's have a quick look just to see. You never know. So liquidity levels would be yesterday's high. Got a bit of a trend line coming down as well, which is nice. You're creating a little bit of a range again, which is good. You'd want to see a range before a big move. Let me put this 100. So what we got? We kind of got some nice intraday resistance being formed here. We have some nice intraday support being formed here. So this would be my no trade range here for the euro. However, if we do break back above, as you guys know, I think you could get a very nice long trade. In here would be my no trade range. Therefore, there's no need for me to sit here and watch this 5 minute and try and trade and get chopped up. If this is my 30-minute range and maybe even an hourly range, get maybe even adjusted to like a bit of an hourly range, to be honest. Okay, cool. This is my hourly range here. Cool. Closure above or below. Therefore, no reason for me to sit here and watch the lower time frame and get chopped up. Simply going to wait for higher time frame breakout here on the euro, especially with FOMC later, and then see if you can get the trade. We do have London open in like 2 minutes as well, guys. Let me just see. Where are we? 550 people tuned in, guys. Remember, drop a like for the Topstep stream here as well. We are here absolutely all week. No, I don't use that risk management system. I'm not too sure what that is. I've never heard that personally. Yesterday I asked you way to trade all-time highs. That's the retracement you were talking about. Yep, absolutely. Maybe that's set up to all-time highs. Let's have a look. So we got this hourly closure coming here on gold, guys. I don't really like selling this. I think we're going to wick back above here. But let's see. Remember, guys, it's pre-FOMC, so if I don't get the perfect setup, but there's still maybe an intraday opportunity, I may just take it on a combine. Let's have a look at NQ here, guys. We got time. I'm watching gold here on my spot chart as well. We'll see if we can wick back above. We're kind of wicking highs, wicking lows. So let's have a look here. Now, yesterday, NQ, we spoke about not really looking to trade it at the London session, but we were looking for price to maybe come back down and retest this breakout here, which we kind of did, but we actually broke aggressively back below this range. Look at this here in NQ. So you had this nice, you did end up having this nice pullback, which is great. Took until New York Open. Did you actually tag them previous highs? Oh yeah, look at that, beautiful. That's our, you guys on Zoom, that's our perfect liquidity continuation play. When you find some support, re-tag some highs, re-break bearish, that's a lovely, lovely, lovely sell-off. Didn't trade NQ yesterday. That's a very nice sell-off here. And now, again, you're back into a pretty aggressive range. This is, though, can't lie, this is actually a pretty nice morning star play here shaping up right now. Kind of already has here. You came down, wicked lows, holding support. You also, not only did you hold support, but you also wicked out previous lows here. So you wicked out the lows. Again, in hindsight, wonderful thing. Buying this 7 AM candle would have been nice. If you can pull back, you know, there's potential for NQ to play this range. Again, you got the highs up here. You've come down, you've tagged the lows. Goldie. Let's see. Hourly still closed bearish. Instant top wick. Let me have a look at this 4 hour. 4 hour also below previous 4 hour lows here in the currency. Instant top wick here on gold. We may squeeze a little bit lower. NQ, if you can come for a bit of a pullback, maybe retest this 6 a.m. candle. There's a potential to see if you can play this range here. Again, it's not the easiest of ranges to trade, so I would be combining it today. See, gold to me looks like you might have a bit of a rollover here. You're wicking out these previous, you're wicking out these highs here. You got some nice lows down here. How big would this range be? What would that be into these lows? It'd be a very aggressive scalp. You got about 40. I mean, 46 ticks is 46 ticks. You'd be risking off here. Let's see. We got time. Well, 1 minute to the London Open here. We've got time here, guys. NQ, yep. Just a quick look at NQ. We'll look at NQ a little bit more as well. Just see how this first couple of minutes of the London Open go here. Hey, Aaron. Yeah, I like that, Sean. I like that, man. Do you trade the NY market? Sometimes. Depends, to be honest. Depends. It depends what's coming up for the day. Like, for instance, today, will I trade New York session today? Personally, I won't, because you have FOMC today, so there's not really too much point. But yeah, I will trade NQ, or at least pre-New York, if I don't get a London Open trade. Sorry, or a London trade. Doesn't have to be London Open, but a London trade. But to be honest, for gold, I prefer to trade gold pre-New York than actually New York Open. I feel like gold gives some very, very nice pre-New York moves, but you end up having a very nice where's pre-New York? Pre-New York had a sell-off. Right before New York Open, you end up having a lovely buy. Oh, look at this, guys. Look at this. Maybe that 15 was probably the play. So if you were in that 15, it's only a 1-to-1, but I mean, it would have been a nice quick scalp in hindsight. Just a quick little range, though. Anything below this hourly lows, though, I wouldn't be targeting much lower than that. Good morning, Aaron Trades. Good morning, man. Good morning. Super important question. That is an important question, actually. How did you find your doggo? I would love to know the origin story. We just rescued him back in Australia. We saw him online at the hut. Yeah, we saw him online back at animal shelter back in Brisbane, Australia, and went to go see him, and then had to take him there and then. So yeah, we rescued him about 3 years ago now. 2 years ago? 3? Yeah, like about 2.5 years ago, yeah. Now he's been living the dream. So these lows here, guys, that would be all my target previous hourly lows. So like I say, it would be a pretty aggressive scalp. I would only be targeting them hourly lows, but you have just wicked them lows and you're instantly finding support. So that's all that scalp would have been. It would have been, like I say, a very aggressive scalp, very quick scalp, 40 ticks. Tag the highs, tag the lows. Below these hourly lows here on gold, I would actually like to see this break back higher. And he's here with me now. Where is he? Oh. He's sitting in the corner of the room. I was going to disturb him and pick him up, but if we get a good gold trade, we can pick him up. But he's just chilling here in the office. What do you say? I said natural gas. Let's have a look. I'm watching gold here, guys. If this hourly starts to flip bullish, I wouldn't mind being open to some longs. Natural gas. Let's have a look. What did we say yesterday for natural gas? Oh yeah, natural gas. Natural gas. We spoke about this yesterday. Actually, we had this huge liquidity wick here, as we were pretty much jumping on. So natural gas, for you guys who asked about it yesterday, I kind of said again, same thing as gold. You know, a lot of people who would have been shorting here stops above, therefore you're buying up into where most people are trying to sell. And I then said after that on natural gas, you'll very likely come back up and test this resistance. So again, natural gas analysis from yesterday, literally spot on, absolutely perfect. Perfect analysis on the euro, perfect analysis on the natural gas, perfect analysis on the pound. Gold a little bit choppy. NQ ended up having the pullback that we spoke about. So analysis from yesterday is pretty much hit on every single market we've broken down so far. Now, what could you see on natural gas for the day? I mean, look at that daily candle. Look at that huge liquidity wick. Came down, wicked all the lows, wicked all the way back above that $3 level. So to me, I would say continue buying. I wouldn't be shorting against yesterday's candle. You do have nice targets of yesterday's high as well. Let me just bring this in a little bit. 4 hour, let's see. So you kind of had a pretty decent breakout from here. Could you be pulling back down to that 3.08 level? You could, to be honest. Where we are right now, I would be looking for potential fake out buy setups here. I'm watching the gold for a potential long here as well, guys. I want to see how this 15 is going to close here on gold for a potential long. So natural gas, if you can, you know, this pre-London candle has just closed bearish. So I'd want to see a break back above. If you can break back above, natural gas longs into yesterday's high look pretty good. It's not a market that I would be selling. You know, we're calling buyers on it yesterday. My analysis there wouldn't change, given the fact that you had this huge wick and a massive run up. So I would be looking to follow this. I think you'd probably get a lot of people trying to short natural gas, and you'll very likely continue to see it squeeze higher. I wouldn't want to be a seller here personally. Now, it's not to say, oh look at that, it's perfect double top. It's not to say that you can't pull back, but it's more so to say that that just wouldn't be my trade. I wouldn't be short on a pullback when the trade has been bullish yesterday, and you have some pretty perfect double tops. Look at these nice highs here. Very nice. Yeah, gold has a nice rejection here so far, rejecting off them previous hourly lows. So that very quick scalp was literally for price needing to come down and grab hourly lows. So that's all it would have been. Very quick scalp. You'd be risking off these highs. You'd be targeting no more than previous hourly lows. So now you've grabbed these hourly lows. Can you start to re-break out from here? Let's see. You know, we're at a big level of support. Big breakout level from these all-time high resistance. So personally, I wouldn't want to be getting short here. If this hourly starts to flip back bullish, you know, this looks like a nice potential hourly morning star shaping up here. Which is pretty much everything that we spoke about yesterday as well. So let's see this first 15 close the London session, and we might see if we can get these longs. Now these ranges are pretty big, so we will reduce the size. You know, you've got risking off like 50 ticks to, you know, how high you come on. I'm not really too sure, to be honest. There'd be some pretty quick scalps today, that's for sure. Good morning, Aaron. Are you in Switzerland? Good morning, man. I'm in Spain. I am in Spain, man. Probably combined today, to be honest, man. I would trade this XFA. It doesn't. If I trade my XFA today before CPI, before FOMC, and I take a loss, I'm going to kick myself. So yeah, if I do trade, I'll fire up the combine. We'll fire up the combine. It's not an XFA day today. It's not an XFA day today with where gold's at. It's not also not an XFA day with the amount of news we have here as well. You guys who are trading Asia tomorrow as well, remember you got New Zealand dollar GDP as well, which is going to be very big. We got that FOMC at 8 o'clock my time, London time, 7 a.m. 7 p.m. But we will, we did the YouTube chat did decide that we have to do a stream from Switzerland, so yeah, we'll have to do that at some point. Maybe closer to December time. Locked out my XFA, nice. GC will still be there tomorrow. Exactly, man, that's the key. That's the key right there. That's the mindset. Locking out the XFA, and guess what? Gold will be here tomorrow, and gold will be here the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. But if you try and trade before major high impact news such as FOMC and you blow up, you know, a lot of people will blame the markets, or they'll blame any other external factors, when the fact of the matter is, if we decide to trade before FOMC, we take that risk. Therefore, we have to accept it. So therefore, if I'm going to take that risk, Does it make sense for me to do it on my Express funded account here that I've been trading very well? No, it doesn't. No, Switzerland for sure. Switzerland for sure. XFAs. I got 4 here on Topstep. I got 4 XFAs here. Did have 150, but I did lose that 150 after taking a payout. I'm trading 4 here, and I have a combine for days like today as well. I actually need to trade this. I actually need to trade this 50 more. I haven't traded this 50 too much, but I have what have I got? I got like 2,500 in here, so I should probably trade this. Probably trade this 50 more. Get a couple of payouts on this one. I think I've taken 1 or 2 from this one, but I should probably get another. Trade this one a little bit more. That sounds amazing. The Zurich retreat with Sammy as our guide would be lovely. Yeah, that does sound like a dream. That sounds pretty fun. Best Spanish dish. Best Spanish dish. What's been our best Spanish dish?
The tapas or the Italian?
Yeah, I went for some good tapas. Went for some good tapas last week. That was pretty good. How much points and ticks does gold move during previous FOMC? A lot. Let's go see. What date was it last time? Where are we? Yeah, you can see gold move, 100, potentially 200. It all depends on how volatile it is. You could move potentially a couple of 100 ticks on gold. Hi Aaron, regarding the XFA payout, hey man, after the payout, will the remaining balance still count as a buffer? Yeah, I mean, like I say, if you have 2,500 in the account, you take out 500, then yeah, your buffer will still be 2,000. If you have, 3,000, you take out 1,000, your buffer will be 2,000. That's a good question, actually. Gold about to close bearish here on the 15-minute here, guys. We're trying to wick back above. We're trying to wick back down. Look, guys, actually just going to close bearish. The biggest mistakes that beginner traders do on FOMC days that end up blowing their account big time, they trade it. As simple as that. They trade on days they know they shouldn't be trading because they can't bear to not be in a position 24/7. That's why most people blow up in general. Is they can't bear to not be in a trade 24/7. So the best trade with FOMC is literally no trade. Just don't trade it. You don't need to trade every single day or every single minute or every single hour. Less is more in this game. People have the kind of misconception that I need to be in a trade 24/7. You sound like you have a gambling addiction, you're trying to get a fix. We're not here to gamble. We're here to trade professionally. And if you need to be in a position 24/7, you need to learn to fight that urge now. Because if you get to a position of full-time trading and you can't bear to not be in a trade 24/7, you're really going to struggle. And I say that from experience as well. When I kind of transitioned into full-time traveling and trading, I couldn't bear to not be on the charts 24/7. And it was one of the worst things you can possibly do. You're stressed all the time. You can't think about any other external factors. So the biggest mistake that beginner traders do on FOMC days is they sit there and just trade ranges all day long. And then they look back and go, what on earth was I trying to do? Pretty much stuff like this. Ranges like this is pretty common before FOMC. And these are the days where, like I say to you guys, we all make money here. Everyone's a genius here. We all make money here. But what every other trader does is this is the days where they give it all back. They give all their gains back. You know, they're buying, they're selling, they're buying, they're selling. And then they end up zooming out and going, oh, what on earth was I trying to do? Price was just in a range. If I had just waited for the range to break out, I would have had a much easier trade. So the biggest thing you don't want to do, I mean, gold, don't get me wrong, gold's having some pretty decent volume here in hindsight, but it's what most people do before any high impact news, you know, NFP, FOMC, CPI. People try and trade ranges because they're too scared that the markets are going to move without them. It's always a psychology issue. It's never a technical issue. It's always it always leads back to FOMO and thinking that the markets are just going to move without you. And if you don't get your trade right now, the markets are just going to go and you're going to miss out. The markets don't move that fast, especially not before high impact news such as CPI and FOMC. Ashamed to say that was me trading Monday night after London. Regrets all learnings, man, it happens. I would be absolutely lying to you guys if I said that. I mean, everything I'm saying to you guys, you know, what most people do is literally my younger self. I would be the one who'd be sat there pre-FOMC watching hours on hours and hours worth of charts doing absolutely nothing. And I'd be trading in these ranges, end up, you know, hitting your max day loss in a bit. And then you zoom out and you go, what on earth was I trying to trade? So that's the biggest mistake here. Gold's still pushing down here, guys. Tag the high, still closing bearish. Kind of hard to want to chase this here on Goldie. NQ holding this nice morning star play. Tagged lows, closing bullish, trying to get back higher. I think if NQ can have a bit of a pullback, great. You did retest that 6 a.m. candle low that I just spoke about as well. Said here, if you retest this low, it's not a bad place to see if you can push. But you're right back up at resistance as well here. Look at this on NQ. Although the longs from this little retest of the wick, which is just lower time frame resistance, you are also right back into resistance here. That's the only tough thing about NQ here. Goldie typically looks like it's having the nicest of moves so far. Personally, I don't like this downside here on gold though. I'm curious to see if these hourly lows here on gold are going to hold in this hour to wick back above. I'm not a huge fan of shorting gold here. You know, shorting gold here, I'm shorting gold at the lows of the range. It's not really a level where I want to go short. If I wanted to short gold, you know, ideally I'd be shorting from up here, not down here. So if anything, you know, if we wick out these hourly lows and start to look like we're going to wick back above, I like this for a bit of a pullback. But again, you know, what we want to see and what the market is going to do are two very different things. It's just what we need to see see if we can get trade now. Let's have a look at copper here as well. Copper, let's see. Copper, oh wow, copper having some good volume. I can't remember what we said. Copper, look at this. Grab the lows. Had the daily close on copper yesterday. Not really too much. Big sell-off here on copper for the day. Where did this come? Wow, look at this right now. Copper having a huge sell-off. Huge sell-off. Wick the highs. Bam, big sell-off. It's a very big move on copper. Let me just have a look here. Yeah, copper again. Copper's already had a pretty decent sell-off, so I wouldn't be watching copper for the next hour. Silver, nice, having a nice retracement here, just like gold. Having a nicer retracement actually. Look at this, big retracement before FOMC. Big pullback, back down to that 42 level as well. So this is a big make or break level for silver right now. Again, it's not a place I'd be looking to short, but it is a place I'd be looking for potential fake out buy setups. Potential fake out buy setups here on silver. Hey Aaron, I recently blew 2 XFAs. I made myself take a step back and only trade in combi until I have 5 accounts passed again. Nice. Currently have 1 passed and the second one is pretty dang close. Nice. Taking a step back is good, man. Taking a step back is good. Like I said, you guys, the markets are going absolutely nowhere. But if you blow up Mensa, you know, you won't be here to trade another day. So taking a step back is a smart move. That's a win, man. Remember, We're so easy to beat ourselves up every time we do something wrong, such as losing an XFA. But what you've done right here is you've decided to take a step back and reevaluate, which is good. Because most people go from losing loads of combines, losing loads of XFAs, just going round and round in circles. But you decided to take a step back and actually reflect on what you did, which is amazing. So good job. Would I, maybe if this hourly closed below, but probably wouldn't short this, to be honest. You short in gold, we're short in gold at support. It doesn't make any sense. I short gold at resistance, not support. Look at this. Does it make sense to short gold here, even if the hourly does close above? Below, sorry. You're selling support. It doesn't make any sense. So personally, I won't. I won't. The only way I would short gold is I'd be shorting gold at resistance. You know, in hindsight, up here, not here. Unless we can pull back up into these levels, yeah, I'd maybe short from back up here, maybe. But I wouldn't short anywhere below these hourly lows personally. Which is why I believe this can potentially wick back above. On the 4-hour doji chain direction and push, like a good sell. Which one, man? Which one? The 4-hour doji change of direction and push. Does that look like a good sell? If you mean this 4-hour, not really. Remember, we're below these previous 4-hour lows, so you could. I'm looking for this to wick back above. I wouldn't be shorting down here personally. What have we done for the whole entire Asian session? And what do we like? Asia's pushed down. You've ranged. Pre-London's pushed down. So what's the likelihood that London's just going to continue pushing down? It's unlikely. If Asia's pushed down, pre-London's pushed down, you know, we could range and then you might actually even get a bit of a pullback. On the spot, doji on the spot. If you mean the 10 o'clock one from yesterday, yeah, it was quite nice. Is it risky to go full-time in trading? As risky as it is to be here trading? Yeah, I mean, it's risky. Everything has a risk. Risk to reward, though. The biggest risk in trading to go full-time is to go from, you know, getting your first funded account and jumping into full-time. That's the real risk. When I took the leap into full-time trading, I was also traveling around Asia, so I was able to live very, very cheap. And I had a good couple of funded accounts. I also had a personal account, which was like my savings, and I'd proven to myself that I could do it consistently and get consistent payouts. So the risk depends on how long you've been trading for, you know, what backup you have. But for me personally, there was no risk to me going full time in trading. I was like, all my friends, you know, have gone backpacking around the world with no income and no backups. I was like, well, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna go travel for a bit. I'm gonna try and knuckle down on trading and see if it works. To me, there was no risk. It was only reward. The biggest risk was, oh, big deal. I go back home and do what I'm doing anyway. So to me, there wasn't. But again, everyone's situation is different. If you have, you know, lots of bills and commitments, you know, yes, there's obviously a very, very big risk. But for me, there was no risk. I was like, even if this doesn't work, I'm going to spend the next 1 to 2 years traveling and trading. If I don't make money in trading, well, guess what? I can go back to my hometown. I can do what I was doing anyway. And I've just built some pretty incredible memories and seen the world. But the best thing you can do is, yeah, have a financial backup and have financial stability to take off the pressure of having to make money. The biggest risk in full-time trading is getting to a point where you have to make money from trading. Obviously, you know, we're all here to make money from the markets, but you never want to trade from a perspective of, I have to make money. That's what I did when I first started traveling and trading. I thought to myself, you know, I have to take a trade today because I have to make money. And that's why my first couple of weeks in full-time trading was so tough, because I put that unnecessary pressure on myself. Gonna do exactly what you do. Yeah, amazing, man. It's good. It was amazing. You know, me personally, I was working a full-time job. I had a full life and commitment back in the UK, and I just got to a point where I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And I just, you know, I got rid of my apartment. I got rid of all my outgoings. I saved up, you know, good, decent amount of months to sustain me, if not a year. I had a couple of funded accounts. I had some good payouts, and it was just starting to click. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the leap. I'm just going to go give it a try. And here we are, what, 6+ years later. And that's why I love traveling and trading so much, is because like you don't need to make, don't get me wrong, like, you know, we all want to get to the point of making like 5,000-10,000 plus a month, but traveling and trading, it's like you don't actually need to make that much. Like I was very happy if I just made like 1 to 2 to 3,000 a month. I was like, that's great. I have the freedom to be wherever I want. And then once I have that freedom, I also have that mental freedom, which allowed me to scale up and focus on trading more. Yeah, exactly. Imagine if you didn't go for it. Scary thought, exactly. Imagine if I didn't try. If I didn't try, we wouldn't be sat here right now. Where do you consider yourself being consistent with getting payouts? Goldie trying to wick back above here, guys. Like I say, I don't like these shorts, but if this can start to form potential morning start, I don't mind potential pullbacks here. Where do you consider yourself being consistent with getting payouts? After getting 2 to 3 without... no, I mean, consistent payouts is like at least, you know, 1 a month. 1 or 2 a month is pretty good. Not every month you're going to get a payout, but, you know, if you're, for me, if I was averaging more than what I was making in a job, that to me was more than enough. But remind me, you know, we'll I got some points I can share on that. Yeah, imagine if you didn't go for it. Yeah, that's what would be scary. Imagine if you didn't try it. That's what's more scarier. That's the bigger risk. The bigger risk is not trying. About 3 to 4 years, May. About 3 to 4 years. I wasn't even making videos or did any of that when I first started traveling and trading, which I wish I did actually, just to document more, to look back on. But no, I didn't. I've been doing this for like 7 years. Only started kind of. I did a talk for free for like 2 years on Telegram. Gave all my trades and all my analysis for absolutely free for like over a year. And then as that grew, that's the moment when I decided to open it up more. You guys can go back and look at the old Telegram. You can see I was literally posting free trades and free analysis with very, very, very good trades for absolutely free for a long, long, long time. At least like a year. So I a couple of funds. Yeah, exactly, man. That's it. Paid it all off and thought, yeah, take the leap. Can't wait for that time to come. Absolutely, man. Just got to take the leap and give it a try. Gold's still squeezing down here, guys. Remember, I'm not shorting gold here, guys. I'm not short, and I also can't buy just yet. I'm not shorting gold because there's no risk to reward. So if you guys who are trying to short gold here, where's your risk to reward? What you're shorting here, where's your stop? What, all the way back above here? Where's your targets? What? Here, maybe? That's a terrible risk reward. So although gold's having a nice push down here, it's not shorting here. If you pull back, maybe grab some highs, fantastic. You can short. Me personally, I'm not selling gold here. So have a look at NQ here. Leaves that hair in it. Nice. Oh, look at that. NQ was a nice play there. Look at that. NQ is way nicer than gold there. Came back down, retested that intraday resistance, broke it, support, breaking higher. NQ way nicer than gold here because you have a bit of a range to play. Had an overtrading habit before, then used to blow up accounts. Never was range by overtrading, never again. Yeah, never again, exactly, man. More trades doesn't equal more profit. That's why most people overtrade. They think more trades equals more profit. That's absolutely not the case. More trades equals more stupid decisions equals more losses. What time frame would you suggest to trade copper and silver futures? It's very difficult to scout them. I don't day trade silver and copper, man, so I'm not really too sure. I used to day trade copper a little bit more. I stopped day trading copper and silver because I just found it was just a bit too inconsistent for me. So for me personally, if I'm trading copper or silver, it's more from a swing trading perspective. I think day trading gold is just much easier. So I personally just don't even focus on them. But yeah, 30 minute was the lowest we would ever go on copper. I would never go lower than the 30 minute on copper. It was almost impossible for me to read the price action. I find if you look at copper on the higher timer, it's actually much nicer to read. How old am I? I'm 30 years old. 30 years old. At what point would you say is a good point to quit your job? Let's say if you make 3K a month consistently from trading. It honestly all depends on your lifestyle, your outgoings. Like if your lifestyle costs you $3 grand a month, and you're making $3 grand a month from trading, it's not enough. It's way too stressful. So you obviously have to be making much more from trading, opposed to your outgoings. It's honestly, it's not really something that I can say. At what point should you quit your job? It's like I say, my situation might be different to yours. If you're making, look at this decent 30-minute closure here on gold. If you're making 3,000 a month from trading, which is fantastic, absolutely amazing. Don't rush to go from having a full-time job to zero. Have a full-time job, then over the years go to maybe part-time, and then slowly transition into full-time if you really want to. And like Sean just said, you want to have 6 months of expenses on top of that as well. That's it. I had like 12 months of expenses as like a worst case scenario. Mindset, right? It depends on what your mindset, what's wrong with the mindset, man. You need to figure out what's wrong with the mindset to figure out what you can do right and how you can change it. It's not really like my mindset's wrong, what can I do? It's like, well, why is your mindset wrong? Like, what's actually wrong with it? Trade with 1 XFA more risky, or copy trade with 5 XFAs with small trades? Personally, I like to trade small on a couple of XFAs than trying to trade bigger on 1 XFA. Like rather than me trying to trade 3 contracts here, I'd rather trade 1 contract across a few accounts. So my risk is kind of diversified. That's what I'm kind of saying to you guys. If you want to try and scale up your trading, it's not about people try and load big size on the 1 account. But for me personally, I'd rather trade smaller consistently on a couple of accounts than trying to full port 1. Travel alone or with friends? I started off just traveling alone, just meeting other people, meeting other traders. I've met up with lots of different traders around the world, and just kind of, if you put yourself out there, you'll start to meet people. It's actually not really that hard to meet people, but it was just me, my laptop, and a backpack. That's all it was. I just completely took the leap on my own. Would have been cool to have friends to do it with, but I didn't have any friends that were interested in trading, so I didn't let that stop me from doing what I wanted to do. So I just, literally just one day packed up my whole life into a big, massive backpack and just went for it. Just went. So NQ still squeezing high. Gold finding some support. Guys, remember, I'm not a huge fan of selling gold here. Maybe even a 30-minute fake out could be a big play here on gold. To me, gold shorting down here doesn't make any sense. There's no risk to reward for me to short down here. All the way back above, and then the longs would actually be really nice. Yeah, exactly, sure. Just me and my mate ChatGPT. Just me and FaceTime and ChatGPT every day. How do you manage time zones when time zones differences when traveling? That's a good question, Rich. Me personally, I'm always based off the London time zone. So wherever I go, I always like to make sure London is at a good time. So I've never really been in a place where I couldn't trade London. Like obviously Europe's great. Asia's fantastic because you can trade London in the afternoon. Australia, you can trade London in the evening. New Zealand, I can trade. I haven't really ever been to the US side of things, but it would be very, very tough there. But I mean, again, the way that we trade gold is like the style that we like to trade. Oh, the stream's cutting? Oh no. Oh yeah, why's the stream gone down?
My internet's going too.
Your internet's going.
It's there, but it's not good.
Give me 2 seconds, guys. The internet apparently keeps going funny. That's annoying. We were on the roll. You guys on Zoom can hear me all good? Ah, it's okay. You guys on Zoom can hear me? Yeah, fine. Yeah, it's really bad on OBS for some reason. Yeah, it's fine on Zoom. I don't know why Zoom's always good, but I don't really know how to get it better, unfortunately. I just have to hope it gets better on YouTube, guys. Sorry, guys, I don't know why the internet's just gone a little bit funny. Well, now it says I have no internet. Let me see if I can hotspot this 2 seconds. Might cut out for 2 seconds, guys. Let me see. I should be able to hotspot. I have a lot of data here. Gold wicking back above, guys. This is what we want to see. This is the reason I'm not shorting gold. If we get back above here, guys, I like these longs. YouTube is a mile behind. Damn. Give me 2 seconds, guys. We've got time here on gold anyway. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. No internet. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to change networks here. 2 seconds. I'm trying to fix it up here. It's good. Oh, are we back? Oh, are we back? We're back. Wait there, it might be back. We're back. Wait there, it might be back. We might be back. YouTube, Zoom guys can hear me? YouTube guys, can you hear me? It says we're back.